Good evening, everyone. Like as was mentioned, in case you forgot, my name is Kay Darling,
Shante Pendo.
and we are a part of the Architectural Studio 2 class. We are second year students of architecture. Here is our presentation. So what happened, as you already heard, is that we got a brief from the Northern University campus to design a facility, a campus facility, to be used for our school that we currently go to, UB. Essentially, we are already UB students, so it's kind of given back to the school that gave us, you know? So what they really wanted us to focus on the more technical aspect or technical subjects when we designed the campus, and we had to take into consideration various facilities and put them within the space of the 50 acres that already exist on the campus, and with possible addition of the additional acreage. So in the plan, we had to include several things. So one of these was a thorough demographic study, pre-existing development site plan, a site analysis, as well as a proposed development. So in the briefing that we were given, it said that we should include several things. Respect for the environment, strong outdoor features, and attention to energy and resource conservation. We also had to make sure that we included facilities, open spaces, as well as various circulation systems in our designs. This is just a little list of some of the facilities that we were to add to this new campus on this facility that we're standing on right now. So there's classroom buildings, bookstore, chapel, clinic, greenhouse, shopping plaza, fire station, residence hall, student center, research facilities, library, police station. Here's one of the spaces that we actually researched, because to do this we had to do a little bit of campus planning research ourselves to see what a campus would have in it. So this is a very new process for us because we are only year 2 students, but we're learning as we're going along. Some more things that we have to add would be some of the mappings, various maps as you can see here, demographic, topographic, circulation, and adjacency map site plans. We have several analyses, some studies. But let's just go right into the history, if you will. So these are some basic facts about Grand Bahama as you can see right here. Some of the area, the population, the density, and the highest elevation. Some things that we had to take into consideration as architects. So this is just a very short little history that you all probably already know, seeing that you're from Grand Bahama for the most part. But in 1955, Mr. Wallace Groves proposed this Hawksbill Creek Agreement to the government of the Bahamas, and basically set up the Port Authority, which governs all the local affairs of the island. Knowing this, we knew that if we wanted to do anything, as it pertains to planning in Grand Bahama, we would have to, at some point, take counsel to the Port Authority, which we did, and we thank them for all of the information that they have provided us. We also know that after the Hawksbill Creek Agreement was signed and was followed through, various companies, various things happened as a result of that through our research. Various tourism places, the power plant, residential developments, schools. A lot of homes came out. The Port Authority, they just went straight to work. They just started building things, hospitals, clinics, homes, and they designed some residential areas, very organized. Trade and industry was, I think it was mentioned by the presenter a few minutes ago, that how tourism and industry is very thriving in Grand Bahama. We also researched that, and the Hawksbill Creek Agreement we see that it boosted that in Grand Bahama, kind of set the building blocks for that in Grand Bahama. I'm now going to allow my associate Shante Pender to talk a little bit about the demographic research we had to do.
Okay, the demographic research study. The demographics for this project is very important because you have to cater to not only just Grand Bahama, you have to cater to all the islands, and even outside our islands, you have to cater to the world, more or less. So the Bahamas. This is the map of the Bahamas. Nassau is highlighted. There we have our main UB campus, and there's Grand Bahama. where the northern UB campus is located.
Top. Yeah.
Right here. This is a short demographic study of the Bahamas as a whole. It shows the amount of people as of 2015. This is a population distribution and the percentage distribution. Population projections from 2000 up to 2040. And this is a map of New Providence. The main UB campus is located here. A short history of New Providence and the demographics. Grand Bahama. This is a demographic map of Grand Bahama. It shows all of the different settlements, such as West End, 8 Mile Rock, and the Freeport area and the East End area. These are the population numbers for each of the settlements: West End, 8 Mile Rock, Pine Ridge, Lucaya, Marco City, High Rock, and unpopulated numbers.
Can you tell why you did this study?
Oh, the reason why we did the demographic study is because you have to first get the ages that would be attending the university. And when you get the ages, then you would understand all of the necessary things you have to do to produce this campus, such as the amount of students that would be in the classrooms and stuff like that. Campus planning. I'll let Abigail tell you guys about campus planning.
Good afternoon again.
Hold on, that's me.
This is
That's right. Yeah. Sorry.
okay.
Sorry. Bad handoff. So I'm dealing with the campus part of it, the nitty gritty of the presentation. So this is a map of the site that we are now on. Okay. This was given to us by, I believe, the Port Authority. Thank you very much. This right here is where we are right now. The building that we are standing in is right around this area. So all of this, as you can probably guess, is just the pine forest, the empty lot. Nothing is built here. So this is essentially what is made, what has something, the development on it. So all of this is what we have to put these facilities on, this whole space. Up here, where you see these little numbers, is as you can see, it's a little residential area proposed, not built, as you can see yet. So what we have to, but the reason we have that there, we need to know that is because when we putting facilities on the map, we have to know that in the next 5, 10, 15 years, what facilities will be on the campus that could help bring in or cater to these residences that might show up in the northern face of the campus. So that's very important for us to know as architects. So here is a aerial view of the campus. Okay, I don't know how familiar you guys are with it. So this is the main highway right here, Grand Bahama Highway. This is the little driveway that we all drove up to get here. This is the little fountain area. This is the car. Maybe you can see a car on it. Huh, jokes. This is the dormitory that they just built. That is right across there. This is where we are currently sitting, and that is this right here is some courts and extra parking areas. So, like I said earlier in the presentation, 50 acres is what we currently have, and this 220 acres has been granted to us. So we have to, the main facility that we have now, the main facility we have now,
220 not granted yet.
well, what proposed that we may get, I apologize. So the facility has 18 classrooms as of now. These are several of the classrooms that it currently has. We are sitting in one. And here we have a route map. You can see it clearly. We put another one right here showing their various airport and seaport routes to the campus, the main campus, and to the campus that we are on now. There are some airplane and boat routes that you can see. Well, yes, these are two maps, so you can basically see what we want to do. You can use this for reference when we switch the slides. This right here is a route map of the island itself, showing where the campus is, indicated right here, from where the airport is and the seaport is. So that's how you can get to the campus. Essentially, that's what this map is showing. Right here, we have a computer drawing of the existing site. We have some proposed commercial areas over here on the eastern side, and we have the wooded area, the 50 acres, the Grand Bahama Highway, and the residential area. So, proposed residential area, I should say. Right here, we have the site analysis. This is one of the most important maps that we have to do as architects. So let's just take a minute to look at it. So right here we have the sundial. Right here you see the angle of the sun in the summer and the winter months. So what happens is in the summer months, the sun angle is different than it is in the winter months, as you can see from this compass. So as architects, we need to know about the angle of the sun, because when we place our buildings, the shadows cast from these buildings are going to affect shading and shadows in some areas. So we have to ensure that from an open space standpoint especially, we know where the shadows are being cast. So when we have to put onto our various trees and buildings in the site. So right here we have indicated by these very large arrows, blue representing the cool and the winter winds, and the orangish, yellowish rendered arrows representing the summer winds. These are the main prevailing breezes on the campus. So we see right here the winter winds coming right from the northeastern direction. This right here, and we have from the southern realm of the campus, we would say, is we have some summer winds. The reason we have these here is because, as you would probably guess, we want to know where the breezes are, so when we put our buildings in various places, they get adequate cooling. So, and as well as what facilities that would need to be cool in these areas. So, moving along, we have some accesses right here. The main vehicular accesses indicated by these big yellow arrows, and by these blue arrows up here, we have the pedestrian accesses that we would add onto the site. These little red marks here represent the noise factors, which are very important to a campus, because you would want to put, again, the facilities that are noisy in one area and the facilities that need to be more quiet in another area. So you might be saying, but nothing's really happening right now. There's not a lot of students who go to campus. However, in the 5, 10, 15-year period, there will be an increase of students. Therefore, these noise factors will really come into play, as well as some facilities generate noise, such as playing fields and track and field stadiums, courts. They generate noise, so you would not want to have them close to a residential dormitory. You draw a library where you're trying to study. You wouldn't want to have noise near that. So that's why the site analysis is very important. As well as you have some views here from the road. The land here is quite low-lying, as you could probably see. So the only good views we really have is from the roads, for the most part. Oh, and most importantly, we have these right here, these little rectangular things representing the existing buildings. As we move along, this right here is an adjacency plan. What we did is we grouped the buildings based on noise factors. Please keep in mind that these are not the actual size of the buildings. We use bubbles to represent the various noise factors. However, the buildings themselves, as you can see, are not in it. So this is just where they would be in the general area they would be, not necessarily where we have put them. So keep that in mind as you look at this plan. You see we have some students. Also keep in mind that this project we are doing was split into various groups. We were split up into 3 teams of 4 people each. So we're just 3 of the students in the class. So there's various different people in different groups have different adaptations of the same map, but essentially the noise factors are the same. So they're just slight variations. So right here we have in the green representing the quiet areas, we have the residences, and we have the chapel, library, pond, research centers, and nature trails. In the moderately loud areas represented by the yellow, we have the police and fire bus stations. We have the park pond, outside classrooms, or seating areas, and the outdoor theater. We have the regular classrooms, that's the art, humanities, building, education, engineering. There's more classrooms as well. Right here in the louder areas, we have the main station, the student administration center, the business centers. We have the gym and outdoor seating areas, the playing field. We have the bookstore and leased spaces, and right here, we have the waste management. Now, the waste management, some of you may be thinking, oh, it's really close to the front of the campus. Like I said, this is not exactly where we're going to put it. This is just an adaptation. So let's move on. This is a little pedestrian and vehicular circulation plan. What we did is we got the same groupings that you just saw basically, and we showed how what would connect to one another and what wouldn't connect to another based on what it is. You wouldn't have a student resident connected to a waste management facility, you know, that kind of feel to it. Right here we have a little radius plan. You can see it right here behind the lovely Miss Hannah. Could you please move a little bit this way? Okay, so it shows a 0.25 mile radius, which is actually a 5-minute walking distance from the center of the campus to different facilities. We also have this grid showing another way of that 0.25 miles being shown. So basically, we have that so that you can see that from one point to the campus to another point of the campus, how long it would take you to get to that point. So just theoretically speaking, it would take me about 5, 10, 15 minutes to get from the bookstore to, say, the library on the campus site. So that's how we use that. Right here we have a little circulation map of the Adjacency Plan. What we did here is we took those same groups, and what we did is we made little buildings using some estimated square footages, and just show just a little bit how we wanted the design to kind of look. It's not the final design, but we just saw how we could, maybe intertwine certain buildings, connect certain buildings. You can see right here, they're the same groupings. And right here we have a central pond, which was actually requested in the outline. So right here we have this little SketchUp model, nothing concrete yet. Like Mr. Hepburn said prior, that everything is just preliminary right now. But this is just a little colorful map showing a little bit how we wanted the road systems. There's a perimeter road running along the entire campus, if you could see, and we'll have some little pathways, some road systems, as you can see, running along the campus, various facilities, how they could connect. We have the site right here, the existing site, what would happen in a little adaptation. This was one group. Here we have another group's adaptation of the same thing. We have some, like I said, we have the little proposed building sites here. We have some little classrooms. We have some facilities. We have nodes, bike trail, like I said, and we have a central pond right here. And these are the road systems and connecting roadways to those as well. So that's essentially what we have. Now I will allow my colleague, Ms. Abiel Hanna, to tell you about some of the sustainability part of the presentation.
Okay, good afternoon again. So, a part of our envisioning process and the development goals of objectives that we were given from the client, University Northern Campus, was to create as little impact on the environment, to impact the environment as little as we can. So sustainability plays a part in this. The development plan goals are a comprehensive consultative process resulting in identifiable goals for the project. The key principles guiding the plan include sustaining the natural environment, connecting the campus, preserving the open space, infilling the built environment, and reinforcing cultural and urban context. As my colleague had said, we had separated the campus and its facilities into various areas according to noise factors. Other factors also play a part in that process. But as opposed to the segregation of facilities, we intend to integrate the environment in the overall campus. To do this, we did campus studies of a few other universities and colleges across the United States, Singapore, Ireland, and Canada. These campuses are significant because they are pretty close to the area that we have or that we wish to have for the development of this campus. The goals include locating and defining new multifunctional centers, distributing facilities throughout the campus, diversifying the character of the campus, developing facilities that support and embrace the university's standards, supporting sustainability, and enhancing the level and ease of accessibility on the campus. One of the universities that we had studies is the University of Washington in Washington, D.C. Oh, wow.
You turn
No,
this
no,
on.
no, it's a button that blanks it out. Just push the button to get, no, look at,
Okay, so this map, this would be a circulation map, as well as a circulation and environmental map that highlights the different connections throughout this campus that we intend to employ in the development of our campus. It's concentrating on new development, minimizing interference with existing campus characters, and providing additional capacity to support the university's educational, research, and service missions. This campus is a very large campus. In the previous slide, it had specified the area that I cannot remember, my apologies. So they have this sectioned off into 4 quadrants, north, west, east, and south. This would be one of them. This is the illustrative drawing of the western end of the campus. This end would be more commercial rather than educational, that we also intend for the development of our campus in Freeport. They include restaurants, recreational centers, shopping plazas, malls and stores and the like, that would also be inviting and welcoming to the surrounding community and other areas, as highlighted by previous presenters, with tourism and farming and growing the economy. We intend for the development of this campus to aid and contribute to the development of the island. This is another illustrative drawing. This would highlight the research facilities on the southern end of the campus. They have access from south to west to north to east with ease. There's a main road going through the entire campus. They have a university village. Again, they're concentrating on the connections. A part of our process is designing parks and open spaces. This slide includes a plant list. Some of these plants are native, some of them are not. So we also intend to diversify the plant and animal life in the community, in the ecosystem around the campus. Some of the palm trees, shrubs and ground covers. Some examples of the trees that also aid in beautifying the campus and make it more inviting and welcoming. This is a picture of the Colgate University's greenhouse. Now, the greenhouse is sustainable because it encourages farming. It can be a tourist attraction. It's used for research. We can use this as a gateway to partner with other organizations such as Bahamas National Trust and BAMC and stuff like that, BTVI as well. This is also sustainable, and I will mention that in other slides. An example that is aesthetically pleasing that we choose to follow, that we are considering following, Thorn Crown Chapel in Arkansas. This is an actual church. I don't believe that there are any more pictures, but this is a very beautiful church, trust me, okay? The frame is gorgeous. As you can see, the arrangement of everything at the top of the roof. They have high ceilings, they have stone flag tiles on the floor, they have glass straight across, so it's like you're in the woods, but you're not in the woods. It's gorgeous. Take my word for it. I promise you it's beautiful.
Is it sustainable?
It is very sustainable because it employs much of the practices as the greenhouse does. It conserves energy, minimal impact on the environment. It's integrated into the environment. You can observe everything from around on the outside, and you're sheltered from the inside. So it's comfortable, it's inviting, it's gorgeous. What more do you want? It's just amazing. A personal favorite of mine. Energy and environmental design. Minimize waste generation on campus, as said by Kieran Smith. We have that employed now in our Point University Drive Nassau campus. The implementation of environmental programs, also in our Nassau campus. Supporting biodiversity through nurturing campus's natural environment. Reusing and recycling water through rainwater harvesting wherever possible. Another idea that we're considering, retrofit existing buildings to improve their energy efficiency. Another idea that we're considering, communicating environmental awareness on campus. something that's already being employed in our other campus. Reducing carbon-intensive forms of energy consumption by establishing cycle paths and fleet of low-emission vehicles to enhance public transportation on campus. That is something that we had not looked in depth to, but Kieran Smith obviously did, and we appreciate the idea as a nice introduction into our presentation. Leclerc Courts in Chicago. This is, oh wow. Okay, this is a picture of their sustainability design. It includes solar energy, employing greenhouses, seasonal gardens, stormwater management, natural ventilation, geothermal energy, hoop houses, and clerestory windows. Solar energy conserves energy, generating power. Greenhouses conserves energy, reduces overall energy load. Seasonal gardens can be another gateway for communities to come into the campus and be a part of it. Stormwater management, a part of rainwater recycling. Natural ventilation, which is also very important as an architect. When we design buildings, we place windows and open spaces in strategic areas to benefit the people that are using those spaces and to make it as comfortable as possible. So the square right there, the big open area, that is not by chance, for example. That was designed with a purpose. So cross ventilation is possible. If we open the windows and we open the doors, there wouldn't be a problem. The AC can stop working and we probably won't be hot in this climate. So everything serves a purpose. Okay.
You could take it. Yeah.
Geothermal energy, hoop houses, and clerestory windows. Clerestory windows are those long windows that just go straight across the wall and are really nice and pretty, and you don't really see them, but they add a lot of character to your house and to whatever building. Those serve a purpose because those minimize energy, they help with ventilation, they're pretty. And in this design, the windows would be facing the northern end of the site. For this campus, seeing that we get summer winds from the south, our windows would be facing the southern end of the campus. So we would have more natural light, ventilation, energy load is reduced. This is another sustainability system that includes permeable pavers. So that would help with the water catching system. They have a rain garden that catches the water and you can use it for whatever. So you can use it for gardening and agriculture, as well as farming fish if you want, or just to be pretty. Rockways, salt dams, rainwater harvesting, woodland restoration, soil amendments. Now that is important for our campus because our soil in the Bahamas is not inviting, I guess, is not ideal for farming and growing much things. So as it regards to our campus here, we would have to probably till the soil and mix it with other things, or we'd have to replace the soil, but we'd have to find some way that we can sustain whatever we plan to grow on campus. This is another campus study that we did of Nanyang Technological Institute in Singapore. They employ a lot of sustainable techniques, including the green roof. High performance glass as well as the green roof use less carbon dioxide centers and air handling units to help reduce energy use and maintain healthy indoor air quality. So this is not only pretty, I don't know if you've got it by now, but I like pretty things.
She likes pretty
So this is really nice because it's inviting, it's welcoming, because we want to create an environment where professionals can manifest their ideas and they can feel comfortable in an environment, they can learn and everything like that. So not only is it friendly for the environment, it's aesthetically pleasing, it's welcoming, it's educationally supportive. We plan on using some of this, not necessarily at this capacity, as big as this is in our design, but we're considering this. And that brings us to the end of our presentation. So the process of planning a design in the Grand Bahama facility is a long and strenuous one. We have to do a lot of research, a lot of in-depth research. We have to do a lot of research again. We have to do a lot of mock designs, iterations. We haven't come up with a final design as yet, for the actual aesthetic look of the structures. We plan on integrating the environment, integrating the community, supporting sustainability. Pretty much, we want it to be an ideal campus that's much different from others that you would see other places in the world. We would use some of their techniques, but we don't want to copy them. We don't want to be like them. We want to take the things that are working for them and adapt them to here, because our climate is very different. So the factors that affect things here most likely won't affect things otherwhere, for Singapore as an example. So we plan on using most of the techniques, sustainability techniques, aesthetic techniques, architectural things, to create an ideal campus that's really pretty and really inviting and really comfortable for us to learn. Because who wants to learn in some place that feels like a prison or a jail cell? I know I do. And as long as we're working on this project, we plan on doing more research, and we plan on producing more iterations for a final plan to give the client what they want, and something that is probably different from our Nassau campus, and that is going to help with tourism and the economy in Grand Bahama, and that is going to allow people from other places, from Inagua, from Abaco, from Andres, to say, I want to go to Freeport. Freeport isn't boring. There is something to do in Freeport. I want to go there. I want to see that campus. Hopefully place people from places like Hong Kong and Singapore and Thailand, they want to say, I want to come to the Bahamas, and I want to go to Freeport specifically, and I want to go on Grand Bahama Highway to see this campus. So thank you so much.